Hello, hello. Welcome to a very special episode of Finsweet Live. Today we have a lot of announcements for you. A lot of announcements. We're releasing things, we're announcing things, we're talking about long-term initiatives, and these are things that you will want to hear. We have a lot, so I'll be going through very quickly. I'll be giving a presentation on each segment. And then we're going to bring on one of the product leaders of that segment to do some QA. So as I'm going through these announcements, go and ask some questions. We're going to record all of the questions in the chat. And then when we bring on the guest, they will be answering those questions for you. So let's get started.
That's effing sweet.
Nice. 100 concurrent viewers. That's great. And we haven't even started. Let's get into it. Let's get on this presentation. And we have a really big announcement before the big conference. We have announcements across all of our products, Hacks, Wiz, YouTube, Client First, Attributes, and of course, our new Finsweet.com. Overview of the presentation. Finsweet Hacks in TypeScript launches today. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Wiz invite link system and a lot of nice Wiz features. We'll talk about the weekly live show on YouTube, what's happening with that. We'll do client first language translations. They launched today. We'll talk about that. We're hiring a PM at Finsweet. It's our first official public job listing. This is a great opportunity for a lot of you out there. We'll talk about our new Alley attribute, our new CMS attribute. These have really interesting long-term effects here. And we'll talk about the accessible components, a super big announcement with attributes, and then at the end, we will push Finsweet.com live. Wow, that's a lot. So let's get started. First, Hacks in TypeScript. This launches today. Very excited about this. Hacks in jQuery was our very first community project. This was written in jQuery. It is now deprecated. And because it no longer represents what we are as a company today, our development quality. So the original Hacks will still stay live, available and free, but it's officially deprecated. We are now calling this our pre-CTO era, and we have a much better solution, and that's Hacks in TypeScript. So now you can feel very confident going to your enterprise clients, going to your big clients, or any clients, and saying, this is industry standard. This snippet right here is really, really solid. And it's written in TypeScript. It will be available in JavaScript so we can copy and paste into Webflow. And really, that goal is to better represent the development quality of Finsweet. We are very serious about showing you the best ways to develop the highest quality possible. And that is what this Hacks update is for. Now, one of the more interesting parts about this is that Hacks will now be managed by our client.js team. When it was in jQuery, our technical developers don't want to touch that. They don't write in jQuery. So now our client.js team will manage this project. It's managed out of GitHub. So we are going to be pushing new snippets very frequently as we build them for our clients. And of course, this is available for free as well. That's it for the TypeScript announcement and Hacks. Let's bring Alex in here quickly and we will say hello. What's up, Alex? How's it going?
Hello, everyone. I'm good.
Nice. So Alex secretly does not like anything that we do with jQuery. Any of our past projects that include jQuery, Alex is very against it because he comes to Finsweet and really sets the standard for us. So Alex, I'll start off with the first question here. What does this mean for you, having this project that we used to have in jQuery and now moving it to TypeScript?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so well, the main idea is, as you said already in the presentation, is that we want to step up what we build. We want to not only improve it internally, but show to the world that we care about the solutions that we're building. So one of the first things that obviously I did when I joined the team, because it was not that much of a secret that I don't like jQuery based code bases, especially when when we start working with very technical projects, and we're working on projects that require a lot of code. In those cases, you have to work with something that is scalable. You have to manage that project, having in mind that this project might grow a lot in the future. So one key thing about TypeScript is that it ensures that the project it's easily scalable. Thanks to all the type checking that it has. So yes, switching from jQuery to TypeScript is a big step, and I was super happy to see that the entire company just jumped in the wagon of just coding TypeScript, because I can tell that be, prior me joining the company, everything was built using jQuery, and when I joined, I was like, okay, but maybe everyone just hates me. I come here and I start telling everyone that they should just not code with jQuery. They should be coding with TypeScript. But actually, it was a surprise. Well, not that big of a surprise, but I didn't know what could be the outcome of this. But every single person who moved from jQuery to TypeScript was delighted by it. It was enjoying a lot everything that they were writing. They noticed that their code was more solid. There were many things that prior using TypeScript they were not aware of, some minor things that could potentially break, but they didn't know because of how the code was written, and the IDE was not telling them anything. So that jump and noticing that everyone enjoys it just made me realize, okay, we're on the good track. We know that this is the right move, and we should encourage everyone to do it. So yeah, that project comes from this idea.
That's great. And Alex does his Friday teachings live on YouTube, but he also teaches all the time inside Finsweet. All of our developers are getting better and better as the months pass because of a lot of these initiatives that Alex is pushing internally. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later when we go over attributes. Some really nice announcements there. And thank you so much, Alex. See you soon.
Right.
The next part of the announcement is Wizzed. And Wizzed is education ready. We have our advanced course filmed. We have our rollout and peer-to-peer invite system. And we have new Wizzed features. First, learning paths. Now we have beginner and advanced. Beginner is live, advanced will be live by the end of next week. And we are now ready to invite people. That was what was delaying the launch of, or the release of Wizzed. So now that advanced course is ready, please, everybody that got invited just yesterday, go check out the beginner course. When you're done with it, the advanced course will be ready. This is really important for onboarding onto the platform. It is not something you just pick up and start using. It's something you have to do a little bit of learning. And we encourage that. We're happy about that. So you got invited. And if you did not get invited, that means you didn't fill out the passionate user form. And if you didn't, that means you have to be invited to Wiz with our invite system. Wiz will be invite only for part of 2023. And this new invite link system is inside your Wiz dashboard. So each user that has access right now will have an invite code that they can give to somebody else to get them on the platform. If you're familiar with Dribble's invite system, it is based on that mentality. I have access, I give you access through my link, and then you can now use Wiz. So each user gets one invite link per month. The invite link expires at the end of the month, and we're hoping there'll be a little bit of invite link sharing at Webflow Conf, both in person and virtually. So we're still going a little bit on the exclusive side of Wiz, not launching publicly outside of that system. Now, the big announcement here on Wiz, the features. We now have real-time collaboration inside the Wiz configurator. This means that changes in a project are synced in real time across workspace members. I work, somebody else works, same time, whizzed, everything is synced. That is great for teamwork, great for collaboration, and that's good. We're live with that. Firebase and Supabase, real-time support. This integration will allow for use cases like chat functionality. So maybe you want to build a real-time chat in your Wiz application. This is now possible with these new additions. The Wiz JavaScript API is now live. Connect with third-party tools and libraries to write complex logic, front-end logic that integrates with your Wiz configuration. This JavaScript API will allow you to take the native features and take them to whatever level you want. We have socket.io support coming soon. This enables more real-time use cases like our trivia app. And then we have Web3 support also coming soon. This enables authentication via wallet and on-chain smart contract interactions. Wow, these are some announcements. These features, I know people are going to build some wild things with these. So if you're going to build something with these features, post it in the chat. Let's see it. Let's tell everybody about it. And wow, that's exciting. We're going to see a lot of apps in the next few months. So now let's bring on Jonas, the creator of Wiz. Jonas will be here to answer any questions that you have related to what we just talked about.
Hello,
First
everyone. Happy to be
question.
here.
Very nice to have you. Jonas has been working really hard on these features. First question from Pablo Cortez. Will Finsweet pros get Wiz invites before 2023?
Yes. Yes, pros will get invites. So we launched the invites for the most passionate users yesterday. A lot of you got access. And pros will also get normal invites. They will not need to rely on the invite system, but they are the only exception.
Excellent. So if you're a pro, you get that invite. If not, you have to wait. You got to make friends with somebody who already has that access. Glenn at the Flow says that I have 0 invites, but I haven't invited anybody yet. Are we still pushing those invites in, Jonas?
Yes, they will be coming in the next few days, and also we have a ratio of invites that we send out weekly. So it might be that in some month or some weeks you get an invite, and some weeks you don't get an invite. It's a little bit random per user. So yeah, and we will also keep adjusting that rate over time to time. So it's not completely fixed, but we have a certain rate, and that is approximately, for now, around 1 invite per user per month. Invites can only be used one time. So one invite code can only be used by one person. It's basically whoever comes first, if you post it in Twitter, for example. And yeah, of course, you can also share it privately with friends. Yeah, we're just hoping that you maybe share it with your colleagues, share it with like some friends that are looking to get into the space, and that you can maybe also give them a little introduction.
And if you're a pro, you're in luck. If you're not, you still have time to become a pro. This will be the next section of this announcement. We're not going to jump to that yet, but you want to become a pro. This is we're giving pros earlier access. If you filled out that passionate user form, you got the access. We're looking for people who are really integrated into our content, integrated into our announcements. So if you've been here, you filled out that form, you got it. There's a lot of people asking, hey, where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? The next step would be sign up for pro. And then last question from Chris Loggins. Yo, Jonas, will exported sites be able to use Wiz?
Technically, yes. There's nothing technically in Wiz preventing you from doing so. Yeah, it's just that you need definitely at least a Webflow preview link in order to use Wiz, because the whole configurator is built on top of this Webflow preview link.
Excellent. Okay, so that's it for the questions. Jonas, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for working so hard to get all these Wiz features out and get everybody building apps quickly. Awesome. Okay, we're moving on to the next announcement here. We have YouTube. Our YouTube strategy is redefined. Our live show will be reformatted, and this is big. No more Finsweet Live weekly on YouTube. This is one of the last ones. For weekly, we'll still go live, but not weekly. It's a new strategy. So instead of going live 3 times a week, we'll go live once a month, maybe once every other month. We're going to continue our live education sessions privately to Finsweet Pro community. It's going to be a new, relaxed Zoom environment, more intimate, just for pros, people that want this content. And we're responding to our top feedback. It can be shorter. And yes, it can be shorter. Some people like the longer version, some don't. So we're going to record all of our live sessions in HD. We're going to edit them, we're going to produce them, and we're going to upload them to YouTube. So the people who want that short content, you can just watch it on YouTube. We're going to edit it. You won't hear any comments. You won't hear guest interactions, these things that are really only good live. And you can get your shorter version on YouTube. For those that want the full experience, the QA, the intimate experience, you can go and sign up as a pro. And you have the same access to the content that we are doing now. We are likely even going to keep the same time slots and days, just different environment. New education, new price. We're going to focus even more on education with more guests from more skill categories. We're going to get more from Alex. We're going to get more from Sergey, Emmanuel, Jonas, Harshit, Rohan, Victoria, Jesse, and more. We think that this more relaxed environment will help more people come out and teach. Going live like this, it's not easy for everybody. It wasn't easy for me until 20 episodes in. So now we can get people started teaching in this Zoom environment, edit anything that's a mistake, and then we go live. Then we go edited on YouTube. And because of this, the pro membership increases from $99 to $199 January 1st, 2023. So become a pro now, and you lock in that $99 a year. And this is locked in. Every year will be $99. If you sign up January 1st, it will be $199 every year, no exceptions. Wonderful. Okay, that is it for the YouTube announcements. Please go ahead and ask any questions that you have. And yeah, Maria, so happy I got the lifetime plan. Yes, anybody that got the lifetime plan, we promised you that would be worth it. And I think it's worth it. Okay. That's it. No comments, no questions, and that's okay. Just a lot of positive reinforcement about this, which I really like. But anyway, let's bring on Victoria. Let's say hello to Victoria. Victoria, how you doing?
Hey, hello, I'm excited. How is everyone doing?
Yes. Great. Now, Victoria is behind the scenes on every live show. Everything that we do with community, Victoria's doing the scheduling. She's making sure everything happens, the organization around it. So she's excited for this. Victoria, what are you thinking? What does this make you feel?
I'm super excited. This is a big change as we were talking in the team, but as we were saying, this is a win-win for everyone. You want the full experience, you can have it. You want only the short, important information of the live stream, you can watch it. So I think it will be super positive for everyone.
I agree. It really gives people that option. Some people love that live interaction, that live commenting, and some people don't like it, and that's fine. So now we have the both options, the two options for you. Wonderful.
Yes,
And
trying to make
also,
everyone happy.
yes, right. And it's hard, but this is, I think, a nice path to do that. I also want to give a shout out to Gabe behind the scenes. Gabe is right now managing this stream. Also give a shout out to Matisse, who is doing all the artwork for the streams, And then a shout out to Max, who has recently started doing some video content for us. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, community team. It was a long journey here, but now we are really happy with this direction. Victoria,
Yes.
we'll see
Shout
you in
out
the
to all
next
community
section.
team.
Yes, the whole community team and the whole community, everybody. I won't say goodbye yet. You'll go off the stream, but you'll be back in the next segment. So see you soon.
See you soon.
And before we move on, just the schedule. We are not streaming next week. We will be at Webflow Conf. The last weekly public stream is Thursday, November 17th with Nelson. We're doing a full circle here. We start with community publicly, and then we end with the community, the early community pro. Nelson was here years ago before anybody else was doing community. So it will be an honor to have the last weekly with him. Then we'll take 1 month off from weekly content to prepare for this new initiative. All of December, end of November, we're not doing any weekly streams. December 20th, we have a year in review of all Finsweet initiatives for this year. It's going to be big. And then January 10th will be our first pro-only live stream. Awesome. Hope to see all of you there. Next, client first. This one, I saw the finished product and I felt something inside, like really felt something deep inside my heart, really special. Client First launches in French and 13 languages. So today, if you go to the Client First website, you will find French live. The entire documentation has been translated by Digidop. Thank you so much, Flo and team. And it was amazing just looking at the docs and looking at everything in French. I mean, we were just working on this a few months ago, and now it's all translated. And this is so special because there's going to be people who really want to enter this community, and they can't because of a language barrier. And this is going to lift that language barrier for a lot of people. And it's not just French. We have 13 languages coming to Client First. They are listed here. And wow, this is going to grow the community internationally. So special. Cool. Translated content is 100% Webflow CMS based. No additional tools or script. We built this little system where all of the translators send us CSV files and we can update their entire translated content library with one CSV file. Really, really cool. So we'll post a case study on that early 2023, but we have 13 languages in one Webflow project, no tools, no scripts. Love it. Okay, that's it for Client First. I will continue. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to bring Victoria back. Back one. Victoria, come on. Hey, Victoria. So
Hey.
Victoria's managing the translations. This is something that we talked about, and now she is working with all 13 translators to make sure that we deliver this and we have a really, really robust documentation. So Victoria,
Yeah.
what does this mean to you? You are a native Spanish speaker. English is a second language to you. So tell me a little bit about how this makes you feel.
Well, first, I would like to give a huge shout out to the translators. Without them, we couldn't release Client First in other languages. So I wanted to say that first. And for me, this project is super exciting. We can be super inclusive with other languages that don't speak English. For me, Spanish, when I read technical documentation, I have to go through a document many times. And I think that reading it in Spanish will be more friendly to understand. So it's great we can do that for other people. And it's amazing. We have 13 language, and the dream is to have every language. So if you speak a language that is not listed and you're interested, please just send me a message on Twitter, Slack, email, anywhere, and we can get in touch to get your language released too.
Yes, this is incredibly scalable. So we can just keep adding and adding and adding languages. It's as easy as creating a new CMS collection and then just setting you up with our CSV file system. So if you're thinking about it, if you say, hey, I don't see my language on the screen and I kind of want to be the leader in this language in Client First, this is your opportunity. Go contact Victoria. You see her on Twitter here. There's a bunch of ways to get in touch. But yeah, just reach out, find out a little bit more about it. Let's
Yes,
see.
please
Do
reach out.
we have, okay, somebody says Italian is missing. Yes, it is missing.
Send me a
Francesca,
message.
you can, send a message. Let's go. Basil,
Oh,
Ukrainian. Yeah, let's do it.
Russian
Brands,
also.
Russian. Let's do it. Absolutely.
Yes, every language is welcome. Just send me a message and we can start translating it.
Yes. I was saying earlier, when I saw the docs in French, I was speechless. I didn't know what to say or think. It just felt amazing to see something that we built in a completely different language for other people. So yeah, this is such an important initiative. I can't say it enough.
Yes, I'm super excited. And I just want to say, I'm seeing a comment from Content Nest that says I have Twitter messages turned off. I didn't know that, so I'm going to turn them on so you can message me after the stream.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Victoria, for joining us. And now we will
Thank you.
see
Talk
you
soon.
later. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, moving on. Finsweet Agency. Also, before we move on, I want to say every single thing that we're talking about today wasn't 100% done on Monday. I think some of them pretty far from 100% done this past Monday. But now every single thing that you're seeing here is launching. It's live. It's ready. We hit every single deliverable in this entire announcement. And that's a huge kudos to the Finsweet team. Every person at Finsweet that was a part of this or indirectly a part of it, really thank you, because we did something really special getting all of these things live across all of our teams without any problems. So great job, team. Next, Finsweet Agency. We're hiring a PM at Finsweet Agency, and we have new proprietary client tools that you will work with if you decide to join us. Finsweet Agency is scaling. We are finding that it takes usually about 2 to 3 months to get somebody at a beginner Webflow level to the point of managing big client projects. So we are starting to look now. We see the scaling. We know it's going to scale more with Wiz, and we want to get people on board. So this is our first official listing. You can work with Finsweet's Webflow developers, JavaScript developers, and clients to deliver badass Webflow projects. PM roles are relatively new at Finsweet. We used to not roll with project managers at all, but now our projects are getting a lot bigger. They require a lot more people, and now project managers are required for most projects. So you'll be part of something new. This is not an old, outdated format. This is something that you'll figure out together with us. Okay, next, work with powerful tools. Wiz, of course, there's going to be endless leads for Wiz. We can't even answer them right now. There's too many coming in. So we need people to work on them. As a project manager, that can be you. And then we have our FormFlex API, build complex form flows and integrate with third-party systems. This is something that you may be managing. And then Greenhouse to Webflow. We have a deep, so deep integration of Greenhouse in Webflow Designer. It's really amazing how much power we have with both platforms here. Imagine designing anything that you can imagine in Webflow and then taking any data that you want from Greenhouse and putting that on your Webflow project. We're getting a lot of these from our clients. Greenhouse is the new platform. All of our biggest and best clients are moving to Greenhouse, so we invested in it. So as a PM, you will work with these kind of cool tools. It's not your average marketing site. Some of them are average marketing sites, but if you join us, you will work on things that you never thought you'd work on before. At the end of this stream, we are going to launch our site, of course. And on that site, we have the job listing. So we're going to share the job listing, but it's not going to be live until the end of the site. So go ahead, save that link that we shared and apply. Even if you're thinking about it, just go for it. We're 42 people at Finsweet. We want you to be 43. All are encouraged to apply, especially those inside the Finsweet community. We always give priority to the people who are active in our community and helping us. And let's bring on Magdalena. Magdalena is a blank thumbnail. Okay, no problem. Well, I'll speak on behalf of Magdalena then. I'll give Magdalena a little bit of an intro, maybe a little bit of inspiration. Magdalena joined us with no experience in web, no experience in Webflow, just a good person. We wanted to work with her, and she has turned into a powerhouse project manager for us. And Magdalena now is managing some of our most important projects. And Magdalena is now in charge of hiring this next PM because she is doing such a fantastic job. So, Magdalena, welcome. Hello. Wow, that is a beautiful background.
Hi, Joe.
Jeez, I got to step away from this white.
Oh, thank you.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great, great. So, Magdalena, tell us about this project manager role. Like, what are we looking for? What can people be excited about if they join us as a project manager, and how has project management changed you? You can answer any of those questions.
Okay, so I want to start with saying that being a project manager at Finsweet is a really fun job. It can be challenging because you will have different set of tasks and responsibilities based on the clients, but at the same time, it can develop you a lot in terms of your skills in management, speaking, successful communication, building the team, and leading the team. So it's really exciting, and we are looking forward to getting somebody on the team.
Now, Magdalena, can you tell me some of the skills that you learned from I know nothing about Webflow and web to now I'm a badass project manager? What skills have you gained in this time frame?
I think it was important for me to learn a lot about Webflow. I don't build in Webflow, but in terms of knowledge that you need to pass on to the clients when you speak about projects, I've learned a lot just by being on sales calls or talking to devs or going through projects with them and looking at how things are done. So I think that's very important. It is possible to join as project manager not knowing Webflow and then be in my position in the next 3 months. So don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared. That's a great one. Magdalena continuously says that we will help you, right? You're not expected to know everything when you join Finsweet. We will help you. You need to be at some baseline level. You need to have some type of skill or some type of knowledge, but we're going to get you to that next level. We're going to get you from I can only manage the most simple projects to I'm managing our current biggest project. And Magdalena, you put yourself through that. And I think now when this new PM comes on, you're going to help that new PM get to that level that, hey, I'm managing something really important to the company right now.
Definitely, yeah. It's a journey to take, and you would start with smaller projects, but after some time, definitely it would be easy to move to bigger clients once you get the knowledge and the skills necessary.
Let's bring up a question from ThemePress. ThemePress says, is PM a remote position?
Yes, we all work
Yes.
remotely.
And talk
The
about
only
that.
thing is, yeah. So right now I am traveling and I am still able to work. The only thing is that we usually need to adjust to the client time zone. So depending on what time zone you're in, it might be a bit challenging sometimes, but yes, PM role is fully remote, and yeah, that's it.
Is there anything else that you want to share before you sign off from this segment?
Yes, I just want to say that we have a great agency team. We're very supportive, and we like Joe said, we're still kind of new to this role, and we are building new processes and trying to figure things out. So you would be part of something amazing, and we are looking forward to getting you on the team.
Thank you so much, Magdalena. And before you go,
Thank
I'm
you.
just going to answer this question from Arvind. Is Finsweet more of a SaaS company? Well, Arvind, we're turning in to a new part of the business that is SaaS related, but we have about 20 people, maybe 25 people who are dedicated to the agency side of the business. So about half are product community tools and half are agency. And Magdalena is a leader on that agency side. So thank you, Magdalena. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, the next part of the announcement. This one's big. We save the big ones for last, of course. Attributes. Wow, 120 million loads per month. Whoa, that's a lot of loads. When we heard this number, we had to, double check if that was accurate, and it is. That across all of the attribute solutions, there is 120 million loads per month. Wow. We're going to talk about FS Alley and FS CMS. They're announced today. They have very, very big long-term implications. And we will be ... in January. Let's talk about it. First, 120. This is growing exponentially. We're actually seeing an exponential curve. So by this time next year, this could be significantly higher. This is a powerful solution. It's very clear that people are using it, and we're very proud of that. And that means we're going to really, really focus on growing this and making sure that this is a really powerful solution for you. All attribute solutions are now, the loads are now publicly displayed on the attributes website. So if you go to finsweet.com/attributes, you can see the amount of loads for each solution. And you'll see that we have our really popular solutions, we have our newer solutions, our less popular solutions, and that's how the homepage will now be sorted to help you find what other people are most integrating into their project. And cool fact, that monthly usage is pulled directly from JS Deliver daily and pushed into Webflow CMS. Really cool. Thanks, Alex. New power solutions launched today. Accessibility, CMS element. Alley, which is short for accessibility, allows us to implement accessibility features that normally require JavaScript. For example, opening a modal with enter and closing a modal with escape. It does a lot more than that. That's just one example. And then we have CMS element. This is going to allow us to use static elements instead of CMS dynamic lists when using attribute CMS solutions. So let's talk about these. Next week, we will be launching accessible components. And this series of accessible components uses the new FS Alley package. We'll launch modal, accordion, range slider, star rating, input counter, number counter, and web form elements. And all of them are sharing from this beautiful Alley package. And this is going to allow us to just work with accessibility. That I'm going to set up my modal with a trigger, with the modal, and all of the accessibility attributes will be added automatically for me. It seamlessly integrates with the new solutions. And as we release new components inside attributes, Alley will be a really primary focus to make sure that we are building accessibly. The CMS element solution. We are going to be able to use static elements with CMS-focused attribute solutions. CMS slider, CMS filter, CMS sort. Previously, these required Webflow CMS. Now they do not require Webflow CMS. We can filter and sort from a static list or create tabs or slides from static content. And this is going to make working with third-party data a lot more native inside attributes. It's going to require less code, and then it also opens to more cases past Webflow. so as to not lock ourselves into Webflow. We now have the ability to spread out a little bit more. And the biggest announcement, ... attributes will be made ... open source. This is a big one. January 2023, Finsweet's attributes JavaScript library will be released under an open source license. The attributes code will be made public. You may be surprised. There is a business mindset and a developer mindset. If you are a business person, you're probably thinking, this is a terrible idea. This is so stupid. Why would you release this open source? You put so much money into it. This is a bad decision. If you're a developer, you heard this message and you say, wow, that's the right decision. Great, great thinking. Really, really nice. This has happened 100% of the time so far. But I promise you, this is a power move. We'll talk about it. We're going to go over a couple of really nice explanations of why we're going open source here. This has incredible long-term benefits for Finsweet and the Webflow community and the developer community that comes to Webflow. Let's talk about this business model versus developer model. First, it was Alex's idea to go open source, a developer. And I think you need a developer to make that developer decision, to have that developer model, the developer mindset. And it was immediately adopted by everybody. I remember I heard Alex say it. My first thought was, no, absolutely not. And within like 5 seconds of reading his text, I was actually sold. So let's go over what that means here. Hold on 1 second as I take a sip of water. This is so intense. Speaking too fast here. Hold on. Okay. Business model. You build a tool, you sell it, and then you build authority through usage and revenue. The tool is for direct revenue. The developer model is you build a tool, you open source it, and you build authority through contributions and community. And we use the contributions and community to market something else that can be paid. This is really important to understand, these two models in this ecosystem of software, and they both work, and we're going to use both of them together. Let's look at this great example. Classic, Facebook. They build React. I have my mouse here. They build React, and then React is going to give Facebook trust, respect in the dev world, improvements in product, community building, and talent magnets. And it's going to be a talent magnet. So Facebook has React, it does this, and it all comes back to Facebook. And now when Facebook tries to do something in the dev world, they have a much easier path to this trust, respect in the dev world, improvements in product, community building, and talent magnet. But it's all through React. It's because they give this open source tool and everybody loves it. And it all goes back to Facebook. Microsoft, Visual Studio Code, open source. This is the same thing. People respect this. That respect goes right back to Microsoft. Let's look at Elastic, Search Titans. We have Elastic. They have their open source Elastic project. This builds the trust, and it cycles right into their SaaS cloud platform that hosts Elastic, as well as SwiftType, which is a more consumer-focused product using Elastic. This one is my favorite. It's very inspirational, and it's super badass. We have Vercel, really a much different company than something like a Facebook or a Microsoft, a much smaller company. And they went and created Next.js. That gives them the trust, respect in the dev world, improvement in product, community building, and talent magnet. And it goes right back to Vercel. And now Vercel is a development pro. They're just highly respected, right? Nobody thinks Vercel it deserves no respect. It's so impressive. So now we go to Finsweet. Finsweet is going to offer attributes as open source, and it's going to give us that trust that's going to filter right back into Wiz and into Finsweet. And our goal is to be leaders in Webflow. And even more specifically in this context, development and technical leaders in Webflow. And also, this has much larger implications past Webflow. We are still going to focus on Webflow, but we are recognizing the larger community. Reach your full potential. This is a Finsweet team value, that we reach our full potential no matter what we do. And the fact is, attributes as a closed and private system will never reach its full potential. We're not making any money on it. We don't have the mass appeal because it's not open source, and it's in the middle. We don't want in the middle. We want one or the other. We want to make a lot of money, or we want to help a lot of people. And we're helping a lot of people here. Open source gives attributes the opportunity to reach that mass adoption in the technical development ecosystem, not just Webflow, the whole development ecosystem. It's a next level community move. It's a technical community move. So we're doing our normal community efforts here, but now attributes can be seen as a clear community move, a community initiative. Open source benefits. Attributes is a great piece of technical work. It's really amazing what happens behind the scenes in attributes. We're proud of it, and we want people to see it. We want to build trust and authority as technical leaders. That's to you as the community. That's to our clients. That's to Webflow as a company. We want to be seen as technical leaders, and we're going to build that trust and authority with attributes. Attributes is our public technical resume. If we have a big project coming and they're unsure about our technical skills, we're going to send them attributes. Check this out. Send it to your developers. Tell us what you think. And that's going to help us with anything that we want to do in the technical space. Open source means the community can contribute to the project. So if you're a developer, if you're listening right now, you may be thinking already, how do I get involved? In January, we'll have a big announcement that outlines the entire roadmap and how you can get involved, how the documentation can help you contribute to attributes so you can create your own attribute solutions for your own clients. And it's, of course, going to bring more non-technical people, more technical people to the non-technical space that we're in right now. And this is our ideal talent magnet. This is exactly what we want to hire. We want to hire people that contribute to this library. If we see people contributing, we're going to reach out and try to bring them into our team. And in order for us to be really successful with all of these initiatives, we need more technical talent. So this open source project is a way that we can increase the amount of technical talent that comes our way. And as this code base grows, the Finsweet name grows with it. This is not something we're giving away and we never hear about it again. We will be behind it. We will be maintaining it. And as much as attributes grows, Finsweet grows with it. Future of attributes. Attributes in its most simple form. It's JavaScript functionality without code. That's pretty flexible. This really can be implemented anywhere. And with the announcement earlier about CMS Element, we've made the move to not just focus on Webflow CMS. We have now given the ability to integrate any kind of web structure. As long as you follow a couple of guidelines, this can be used in any environment. So JavaScript functionality without code, mass appeal, love it. And January, definitely, if you're interested in this, we'll have a full live stream explaining everything about the roadmap, how we're going to offer training around this. We're going to offer documentation around this. There's a lot. There's really a lot. So let's bring on Alex, the creator of attributes, the founder of this idea of open source. Alex, welcome. How are you doing? And he's on mute.
Now I'm here. I was just saying that I'm just excited and happy to see everyone just being excited about this announcement of attributes becoming open source. So this actually tells me that this was a good decision. People is looking forward for this, and that was the main reason behind that. The people is looking forward for this kind of stuff. So super happy.
And audience, now's your time to ask some questions. We have a couple that came in, but if you have questions about the open source initiative, the alley attributes, the anything we talked about, now's your time. So, let's answer this. This is a good one for people to see here. Mo Mosh says, "How can you secure or promise server uptime in the future?" Alex, can you talk a little bit about how attributes is hosted, the CDN side of it, and how people can feel really confident using attributes?
Yeah, so Attributes is not hosted by Finsweet. Attributes it's currently being deployed through a public CDN. Sorry, it's a CDN that it's specifically made for open source projects, specific like Attributes. So this CDN it's backed by 4 different providers. I think there's Cloudflare, there's and 3 more that I just forgot about them. But so this is not something that we need to be behind to ensure that the service it's always up. So as long as we don't remove it, which we won't do, the attributes will be always available to everyone, and especially when we go open source, because this is one of the beautiful things about going open source. When you're private, you own the code. So if something happens, the company closes or whatever happens, that code can potentially get lost, right? But open source, that's another story. Because open source, that can be a lot of people contributing. There can be a lot of people that holds that code, and there can be people that just working with that code. So there's a lot more security when it comes to making sure that a project it's maintained in perpetuity.
Great answer, and know that we're following all of the best practices, industry standards for hosting this, right, Alex? This is can you just talk about the platform that it's on, JS Deliver? Just a little explanation of that.
Yeah, well, so the way that we host attributes is we first deploy them as npm packages. Sorry, I'm getting some links here. We deploy them as npm packages, and then we just use JS Deliver. So perhaps we can share the links here. And if you're curious about this, we've talked about this specific approach, the same one, in previous streams, the live streams that we're doing on the Fridays, that we were doing on the Fridays. Um, and in one of them, I explain exactly how we deploy this code, and you can do this. You can do it yourself too. But yeah, so the underlying technology around hosting attributes is basically we have the code base in GitHub, which will be public in January. We deploy everything to npm, and there's a reason also because of that, but we'll keep it for future announcements. And then we just use JS Deliver, which is a CDN that's made specifically for pulling files, both from GitHub and npm, for saving them to any website.
Let's bring up a question from Magica Nexus. Will we be able to create our own attributes? And some people have questions around this. So can you explain a little bit about how somebody may be able to create their attributes, what that process would look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is, well, we need still some ironing down about this, because the main reason why we are open sourcing this on January and not today, it's because the code base was meant to be a private code base. And there are some things that are not prepared for people outside of Finsweet jumping in the code base and creating their own versions of attributes. But the ideas that I'm having in mind is that we'll have 2 different systems. So we'll have the official Finsweet attributes. So those will be maintained by us, and an external contributor can always just open a pull request in the GitHub repository, so they can create their own attributes. But then probably we'll offer some kind of plugin system. I'm thinking on some way we can make attributes extensible, so anybody can just install a package, or I don't know, I'll think about that. And by that, extending that to create their own attribute solution. But more details to come. That's why we need some time to iron this down and launch in January.
And this will be checked, right? So somebody submits their code, their solution, and we can review that to say, yes, this is up to quality, or no, this is not up to quality if we have this kind of review system?
Anything that it's contributed to the official attributes repository. So anything that it's not extended by any plugin system or something like that that I just told. Yeah, there will be always a maintainer from Finsweet that will be in care about making sure that all the code that is being committed to attributes, it's approved by our team and by the community also. So yeah.
And we'll bring up one more question from Glenn at the Flow. How will the changes in attributes overlap with WISD features? Can we see some integration with attributes open source and WISD?
Well, that's a question for Jonas more than me. But so right now there are many things that you can already do if you combine with the JavaScript with the Wiz JavaScript API. This is something that Wiz offers. There's a JavaScript API where you can interact with the application, and then attributes has its own API where you can interact with attributes. And we've already done that in the past. For example, making a list that is being populated with by WIST, making it filterable, making it searchable. That's something that you can already do if you know custom coding. So if you know a little bit of coding and you can dive into both APIs and then just write your own integration, that's something that you can do. But perhaps in the future we can have a few, native integrations in WIST. This is something that it's possible. I don't know where is it in the roadmap, but it's possible. So we'll just leave it as that.
And I think it becomes more easy or more straightforward to do it in the open source environment, because maybe Glenn at the Flow wants to contribute to this. And Glenn can write some code and Glenn can start to create the solution, and other people come in and help Glenn do that. So that's the beauty of open source, that just with an idea, with a little bit of skill, you can now contribute and create your own solutions. Absolutely wonderful. So that will be it for questions about attributes. Please follow us in January. There'll be a big announcement about this. Now, the next part of this is finsweet.com. So Alex is live with us right now already. And Alex, please go and turn on finsweet.com and we will go live once you do that. So finsweet.com, we've worked on this for a year. We've had it look completely different all throughout the year. It's been trial and error and trial and error and error and error and error and trial and error. It was a very, very intense project. I want to give a big, big thank you first to Federico Valla. Federico has been working on this for a long time. He's not even officially part of the Finsweet team, but he has become part of our team through his excellent contributions to this project. So Federico, True Pro, just commented right here with the spaceship going up. Please give him a follow. He's a true pro, really, really interesting mind for how this stuff works. And what he did was very, very technically challenging. And second, big, big thank you to Sergey. Sergey Stanchev is a lead designer here at Finsweet. You may have seen him on RDL last week, and he has been working on this project for probably a year. So I don't know, is it live yet? Yeah, it's live. Cool. Okay, so it's live. And there's a lot of 3D here. This was really interesting because the entire strategy, the design, the layout, everything was dictated by the technical limitations that we have on the web. The entire thing was guided by what's technically possible, by how much 3D we can push into this thing, still make it a functional website, and still work on older machines. So we have a very complex 3D animal scene throughout the project. We use 3JS, Blender, WebGL, Adobe Substance 3D Painter, and much more. If you're on the home page and you go to that top right, you can see the stack. And if you move your mouse around that homepage, you'll see a lot of animals moving all around. The animal design was inspired by Mexican art, and specifically from a company trip that we took to Mexico. I remember Sergey was so passionate about this type of art, and we just kind of said, let's turn the brand into this. Let's do something completely different. We're doing 3D animals, and we're going to paint them in this Mexican art style. And all the 3D textures are managed inside Webflow Designer. So we can change the textures without a developer, without code. And we can upload that, change the texture, and we're done. So it's really integrated with Webflow. It's not this completely separated system. And I like to believe that there is very impressive performance based on the amount of 3D. There's a lot of 3D in here. If you look at that file structure, it's massive. It's huge. It's a lot. And all of this had a super focus on performance. And yeah, it's going to work great on a new computer, but even on an old computer, you can still use the site. You can still function it. It still works. And that is beautiful. So big round of applause to Federico for making this very performance excellent. And a big thanks to Sergey for really creating some amazing art here. You'll see our primary brand colors as black, white, and yellow. You'll see a lot of simple layouts with large, minimal text. Not a lot of text, no difficult layouts. If you take the 3D away, you just turn it off, the site still works. We'd go live without the animals, and it's just a good site. It's clear. There's no animations and no effects outside of the 3D world. If you hover over things or do things, you won't see any motion, any movement. Zero transition, no CSS, no animation JS. And a clear separation. That's a real key here, that you're not going to find many places where the 3D and the text combine, right? It's here's the text on a solid background, here's the 3D separately. And really, a lot of this was, how can we push the limits? How can we do the most ridiculous thing that we can think of, but still have a functional site that people want to come to us for and buy something from us? So the sitemap and content structure were completely rebuilt in this process, and thank goodness it now reflects 2023 Finsweet. The last site did not reflect who we are today. It reflected who we were in 2019. And now this is set up, this content infrastructure is set up to go and drive us into the future. And we're now presenting our new 3 pillars: agency, product, community. These are the 3 avenues that we are focusing on. Agency, building sites for clients. Product, building SaaS, building tools for you. Community, making sure that the products that you use, the things that you interact with Finsweet on, you're happy about it and you feel that we're here for you. We're with you. And the new portfolio now features our most recent work. So go to that portfolio page, go to all the listings, you'll see some beautiful sites. On our last site, we didn't update it for, I think, years. It hasn't been updated for a year and a half. And now we can finally show our beautiful portfolio from Finsweet Agency. This is a team of 20 to 25 people who really work hard to make sure that we can deliver these beautiful websites to our clients. And let's bring on Sergey. So Sergey, we're not at thank you yet. Don't thank us too soon. Hey, Sergey, what's up?
Hey, Joe. Super excited for the launch.
Yes.
It's been a while working on the site, about year, right? And so this is exciting moment, and you'll be talking about inspiration from the Mexican art. So I purchased this piece of art here, so you can see this tiger. So this is our inspiration, actually. So this is Mexican art, and this is so cool. Yeah, super excited.
You know, Let's talk a little bit about the homepage. This was the thing that kind of took the longest time and had the most iterations. There were times where there were so many more elements on the page. But as we kept building, we're like, nope, we got to remove this, remove, better performance, better performance, better performance. And it turned out really well. Look, I mean, if you're on the site right now, look at the grass. Look at those grass pieces moving. Amazing. 3D. Look at those trees in the back. Those trees are the same 2 or 3 trees that are duplicated and rotated around. Performance. The mountains in the back, simple polygons. Great texture from Sergey. So all of these things, the whole entire design and development was dictated by performance and 3D capabilities. So Sergey, how was this process? How did it make you feel to be limited as a creative because this is all that we can do with 3D and performance?
So remember when we started, you said just put your best work and your best ideas into this website. And actually, I tried to do something if we would not have limits at all. Like we don't have limitations, we can do whatever we want. And we started adding a lot. So that was really a lot of stuff we added to the website. And even we started with Lottie and 3D and Lottie. It went well. Eventually, we moved to the real 3D. And when you're in a real 3D environment, you have to start thinking about performance. When we actually purchased some of the models, the first models that we purchased was a lion, and that lion, he had hairs, a lot. But you can't just like put this amazing lion to the 3D space because it will just kill performance. People will load this site like for a year to just see one lion. So we started thinking how we can reduce number of polygons. We started thinking how we can have like awesome scene but not have a lot of objects. This grass that you see, it using just it is just like one 3D object with 3 small polygons, and that's it. And then it's just like with WebGL, it's distributed to the field, and you see the grass, and it's just like moving randomly. Same with the trees. We brought super detailed trees, and those had millions of polygons. They looked awesome. They would look awesome actually on Pixar movie, but it would not work on the web. On web, that should be low polygons, and you should think like if this object on the back, then maybe you do the trick with the texture. And if the object like more close to you, maybe this is where you can sacrifice performance and you can just put more polygons to make this front object more awesome. And this is what we did with animals. So we put all our energy and love to animals texture, and animals animations. And Federico was all the way with us on this long journey.
Yes, he was. Let me make a comment on the animals. The performance dictated our design so much that we actually dropped our primary animal for performance reasons. So, as you know, Finsweet has the lion as the core of the brand, but we cannot use a lion because it has too big of a mane. It has too big hair around the head, and that hair can't move. If it moves, it's not performant. But if it stays still, it's performant, but it looks stupid. So we couldn't have the lion because of performance reasons. So we went with the tiger on agency, and then we went with a hairless unicorn on the about page. So all of these things change just because of what we're able to do and what the web allows for us. And that's what makes this a really interesting project, a really special project. And Sergey, we're going to do some tutorials, some education around this, right? You're interested in doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, because there is like so much things going on behind the scenes on this website. We even have built a couple of attribute solutions based on this website. For instance, if you go to community education live, you will see like a lot of videos and this Netflix feelings, Netflix style. So those thumbnails, they coming straight from YouTube. We didn't put them into CMS. We didn't upload them manually. They just coming from YouTube API with YouTube API. So, and this is awesome. And this is based on, we kept in mind that we want to share this solution with community, so everybody can contribute from what we have found here. Yeah, and we have a lot of attribute solution all through the website. If you go, let's say, to about page is amazing. We could just like have about page and that's it. We could stop here because about page reflects everything about the Finsweet. So you can explore just in one page everything about Finsweet. And if you go to about, you can learn a lot. You can find a lot of different components, stuff, and yeah, this is amazing page to explore Finsweet, like quick overview.
And when we do the education to our pros privately in January, you'll see Sergey inside some of these applications building this design. This Adobe Substance 3D Painter, I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm looking at him working and it looks like nothing I've ever seen before. So if you're interested in 3D, if you have some interest in how we actually designed and built this, Sergey is going to teach that. And hopefully Federico will too. Federico, I can't give enough thumbs up. Please find him online. Go and follow him. He has a very bright future ahead of him, and we give him all of the thanks for making this function on the technical side. Okay, so that, Sergey, we'll say goodbye for now. If you're going to Webflow Conf, you'll see Sergey, and if not, you'll see him January to do some reviews of this. Thank you, Sergey.
Bye.
Awesome. Okay, that's it. We're done with all the announcements. You thought we'd have more, right? Not enough. I'm kidding. This was really, really nice to announce all of this to you and for everybody to be so excited about our deliveries here. Now, we will be at Webflow Conf. There's 16 people at Finsweet going to Webflow Conf. We have a totally super cool campaign there. So you'll see us and we'll be campaigning. So definitely, if you're there virtually or you're there in person, just reach out to somebody, say hello, give some positive comments, because this was the entire team. Everything that we're talking about here is the entire team. So it's not just me, it's not just Sergey, it's not just Alex, it's everybody. So thank you, everybody. It was really, really special to go and present this to you, and we'll give a final goodbye from everybody who is behind the scenes here. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend and see you at Webflow Conf.